A new revelation in the investigation into the murders of billionaire couple Barry and Honey Sherman. And for the first time, police divulged they have a person of interest in the case. They would not reveal who that could be. Now, this new information came after a cross-examination by the Toronto Star's Kevin Donovan, who's trying to unseal search warrant documents that were related to this case. And Kevin is joining us this morning. Good to have you back on your morning.
Good morning.
I'm going to get to how you were able to cross-examine in the first place, but let's start with this revelation. Constable Dennis Yem, the detective working on the Sherman murder investigation, said that there is a person of interest in this case. How did that happen?
Well, over the last 3 years, the Toronto Star has been working hard to try and unseal search warrant documents filed in the Barry and Honey Sherman murder investigation. What we've been doing is applying to court, and every 6 months I've been cross-examining the detective. And for the first time last Tuesday, both in documents that he filed in court opposing our attempt, but also in cross-examination said there was a person of interest. And yesterday, the Toronto Police confirmed that as well from their spokesperson.
What was your reaction when you saw person of interest? We had not heard them use that term before.
Yeah, I've been asking for the last 2 years, is there a person of interest? Because I had a belief that there was. That's because the police have been saying we have a theory of the case and an idea of what happened. And I speculated, how could you have a theory of the case if you didn't have a person or persons identified? I was surprised. I think the reason the police have said it now is because it serves the purpose of trying to keep more documents sealed. The Toronto Star was successful in having about 2 months of documents revealed. There's still well over 1,000 pages left. So the police are trying to say we're getting close. We can't reveal any more, and we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, so Kevin, you are not a lawyer. You don't play one on TV. How are you able to cross-examine Constable Yem?
Well, it's an excellent question. When I started this process on behalf of the Star almost 3 years ago, the first time we were in court, I got some information from documents, but it actually didn't strike me to cross-examine him. And then the next 6 months, we came back, and another affidavit was filed by Detective Yim, and the judge, Justice Leslie Pringle, said, "Mr. Donovan, would you like to cross-examine him?" And I said, "I would, Your Honor," and that's begun this process for me, which I've done in other cases that we're fighting to unseal documents on.
Let's talk a little bit, Kevin, about the family and the family rift that is happening. What can you tell us about the reaction, perhaps, from the family, if there has been any, about this revelation?
Well, I can't tell you I'm not going to tell you too much about any reaction I've heard. I'm just going to keep that for the pages of the Toronto Star. But what I can tell you is that last week we also published a story on this rift between the siblings, and it appears to be over charity matters. Barry and Honey Sherman were obviously enormous philanthropists, and they've left a lot of money behind. The Sherman children are continuing that legacy, but they're doing it on their own. Each of them has set up their own charity, and my understanding is that I don't have too much more on this, but the Jonathan Sherman, who is the son and has been really dealing with the business affairs, is not talking, or his sisters, his 3 sisters who are more dealing with the charity side, are not talking to him. I think there's a bit of a rift over the future of the charitable dollars.
Police had said at the time they did not want to reveal anything about this case because they were concerned, of course, about it messing with their investigation. But they had revealed, through your cross-examination, that they have discovered this pattern that has developed. Can you expand on that a bit?
Yeah, that came in the cross-examination as well. I was asking about the information that we received from court. Stops about 2.5 months after the December 2017 murders. And then there's been over 2 years since that time. And I said, why agree to release the first 2 months and not the ensuing 2 years? And Detective Yim said, that's because a pattern began to develop then. And that pattern has still been developing in the 2 years since then. So that means that any information, that their argument is that any information in the next 2 years of documents, and it's certainly well over 1,000 pages, that information would hurt their investigation. My argument is that some of it can be released safely, and we'll see how that plays out in court in a couple of weeks.
Kevin, you've been watching this case so closely. What does a development like this do to this investigation? What kind of shift does this bring?
Well, yesterday when the police confirmed it to all other media that there is a person of interest, and they used the words "has not been arrested," that seemed to me that this is a big development, and the police are getting close. There's a bar between getting somebody as a person of interest and an actual suspect that can be charged. And what I'm believing is that the police are trying to, perhaps working with lawyers, with Crown attorneys, to see if they've reached that bar and can lay a charge. The last thing the police want to do is lay a charge and have it thrown out of court.
Kevin Donovan, great to have you back with us. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.